Here we go.
This is Happening with Mark Zito and Ryan Sampson.
I'm Mark Zito.
I'm Ryan Sampson.
And this is Happening. I had a Yeah, go ahead. What?
I was going to ask a question before we get too far.
Mm-hmm.
If you are on a computer and you clear the history, does it wipe out your passwords?
Man, what type of stuff were you looking at? And no, I don't think it does.
See, I thought it did, and there was a little box that said passwords and something, and I clicked it. In the studio, I don't know what happened, but when we were wrapping up the show today, there was an internet outage.
Okay.
And so on two different computers on my little station, I had social media up on one and my email up on the other one.
Yeah.
But there was an internet outage, so you couldn't log off. And then somebody else was coming into the studio. So I was trying to get out of my email.
Well, what you can do
before I left the studio, and I cleared the history.
That's not how you should do that. What you would do, this is like kicking off a show where my mom calls me and is like, "Is this pop-up ad a problem?" And I have to be like, "Well, what does it say?" And she's like, "It has I have a delivery from USPS." And it's like, "But why would that pop up on a random website?" I don't think you do. What you can do is, assuming it's Gmail or Facebook or something, you can log out remotely. You can go in and be like, "End every other session." Now, what I'm not going to do is explain to you how to do that here on the air.
Yeah, no, I'm sure I can figure that out. I didn't know that was the possibility.
Are you going to be distracted now during our show because you think somebody is getting into your...
It depends on how long it takes me to find that on Google.
Do we need to pause our recording so you can do this?
No, I'm pretty certain that when I did do the clear history, that there was a box for passwords.
Okay.
And I clicked it but
I don't know
do
if that
like
logs
this
you out of things you're already in, but sure, whatever.
I think if not, it'll be one day. It's not the first time I've ever left my email up in that studio. I just don't like it up.
Well, obviously not. I mean, didn't one time somebody leave something up and then somebody posted on their account?
Yeah, it didn't happen to me, but it happened
to Stan.
Yes.
That was funny. I thought it was funny. You know.
At the time, it depends on who you were and where you were.
Yeah. Yeah. I had what I deemed to be a bad start to my day. Well, first of all, have we talked about how Simone is in a big girl bed now?
No.
Oh, Christ. It's just madness. She just wakes up because she's still not totally used to it. She wakes up and she just appears next to my bed now in the middle of the night. So last night this happened relatively early. She was up at 11:40 and I didn't feel dealing with it. So I was like, let's just go sleep in your bed together. So I did that. So I wake up in this, toddler's bed. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to take her to school and I'm going to get myself a donut from this place that I've talked about that I like to go before called Donut Crazy. They opened a location in the town I live in. So that's great. There's one even closer. So I go out of my way to drive to the Donut Crazy. Only to walk in and there are no donuts. I mean, none.
It's called Donut Crazy and there are no donuts.
I'm fucking getting to this, yes.
All right,
and there are only muffins. And they go, it's Muffin Monday. And the person says this to me like I'm supposed to be excited about this development. And I'm looking at there being no donuts and only a selection of 5 different types of muffins. And she's like, our donut facility is closed on Mondays. And I just wanted to be like, look, I know this is basically a small business, but if the place was called Muffin Crazy, I guess I'd be like, not a problem. But I was just standing there like, maybe if you can't make donuts, maybe we just shut it down for the day. Because the other Donut Crazies are closed on Mondays, I came to realize, which I now know is because the donut making facility that they all get their donuts from is closed. But how can you be donut crazy and have no donuts?
See, stick with me through this analogy, okay? So I used to be the music director on Hits One, right? And we've all heard of music directors on radio stations. Now, this might be a shock to some people, but the radio station is pre-programmed 100% of the way before the DJ ever even shows up for work. Unless you're at a college station, there's no DJ in the country picking their own music and playing it.
Yes.
Right? So someone has to do that list. I don't work on Saturdays and Sundays, but Mark, just because I don't work on Saturdays and Sundays, is there still music on a station?
There is. There is.
Do you know why? Is because I make twice as much music on Friday.
Yeah, okay. I'm not saying they should serve old donuts, but also an idea is maybe we split the crews, or we're just closed. Because the idea is that, like, if you're going to be open, be fully open. This isn't, post-hurricane where we're in a Waffle House that's like, listen, we don't have running water, but we're serving, eggs or some shit. Like what is this?
I would 100%,
Muffin Mondays, and then trying to turn a negative into a positive.
I would sell the Sunday donuts.
No.
I would do. Listen, do you think? Hold on. I don't know the quality of the donuts, but any chain you're going to, they're not made within the last 12 hours. And even if you if your donut facility is shut on Mondays, that's fine. Run a late Sunday crew.
Well, certain foods do not keep, right? I would say.
How to run your business.
What'd you say?
I'll tell you how to run your business.
Okay, yeah, no shit. You're very good at that. Donuts do not keep well, but this idea that, I'm supposed to be excited about Muffin Monday, then call, you know what I'm saying? Like, the whole day started wrong with that situation.
Yeah, I would, I would be, what else do they sell other than muffins? Coffee?
They have coffee, and they have breakfast sandwiches. But it's one of those places where a breakfast sandwich takes like 20 minutes because they don't make a ton of breakfast sandwiches. It's called donut crazy. Donut was the key word.
Yeah, donut. They should just close on Monday.
That's what I'm saying. Like, would I be a dick if I was like, hey guys, don't do this? Like,
it is a weird day though, because listen, I get it that Monday is the traditional restaurant day off. Mm-hmm. Right? But like, can you close a donut shop? Because on Sunday, everyone wants to go out and get their cheat donut, their treat on Sunday morning, right? But on Monday, everyone's back at work and you've got an office to feed.
Does everyone just assume there are going to be donut Sundays because going to church sucks so hard that people are like, I need to treat myself? Like, is that how that started, you think?
It never had anything to do it with me. It's just pretty much like a lazy morning when I'm hungover and don't want to make breakfast and just want something bad for me.
I have to imagine that donuts became a thing on Sundays specifically because it's like, oh God, that was fucking boring. Let's get some donuts. How else are we going to get people to show up to me monotone singing for 60 minutes?
Fair.
That's what I think.
I mean, donuts are really just a way to keep people from sleeping at meetings, right? Give them a quick little sugar jolt.
It's such a weird food. Okay, but all right, but back to the closing of the restaurant though, because it's not even a donut shop closes at like 2 or 3 p.m. So you're only open a half a day. There's got to be a way to do this where I guess Monday is the most likely day. I guess they probably did some analysis where it's like, hey, we're closed on Mondays because we're open Saturday and Sunday. But you can't.
Oh, I don't think that there's any analysis at all. I bet you that this donut shop opened in 1953 and Jimmy, who opened it, wanted a day off and said, I'm taking Monday. And there was no analysis behind it at all. And now they just don't run the donut factory on Mondays because Jimmy said so in 1953.
Speaking of places that are closed no matter what, they just opened a Chick-fil-A in my town.
Yeah.
I don't understand. There's nothing more embarrassing to me that when a restaurant like that opens and it's like town-wide news and they're changing traffic patterns. And they're like, the Chick-fil-A is opening. It's congested over there. You can't drive by the Chick. It's like, you're all so excited about fast food chicken. What happened?
It's not that. It's really, I don't think it's that special.
It's fine. I would love to be able to eat it.
Fine is a good word for it.
I don't eat Chick-fil-A. We've gone over this, and I know that your thing is you don't buy it, but you'll eat it.
Yeah.
And it's, by the way, this Chick-fil-A doesn't even have a fucking drive-through. So can you, think about how much, when you go to a fast food place and you're like, all right, how much do I really want? Am I going to get out of the car? Because the minute you walk inside a fast food restaurant, at least maybe this is just me, but that's when you realize like how shitty it really is.
Well, my thing has always been about it, right, is other fast food restaurants have to be an incredibly toxic place to work, or just being inside them has to be incredibly toxic, because for some reason the people standing outside in the rain with the tablet are the happiest fast food workers on the planet.
I have to. Oh, do they do that at Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they get to be outside, even if it's raining. They don't have to deal with the actual heat and the bigotry that comes along from working at Chick-fil-A on the inside.
I mean, I guess they have to deal with the heat from the sun, I guess, not the heat off the deep fryers.
But they're all under the Lord's watch or whatever the whole deal is. So that's great. But it's more, when you go in a McDonald's, let's say, and you're like, I'd like a number 2, and you see the scuzzy shit, and there's like, a kid shoving a french fry up his nose. That's when it gets sad. It's like when you see at least in New York, when you see the Chinese restaurant you've been ordering from, and you're like, oh,
there it is. Nobody sits in there and eats.
Why is there a shower curtain in the front of the restaurant?
There's like these massive, like New York City real estate isn't cheap. And there's these massive Chinese restaurants that probably, seat 75 people and no one is inside.
I wouldn't even say that. I'm saying when you see one that's like the size of a stairwell and it's called like 8 stars and it's like just the photos of the food. There's not even it. And you're like, oh God, I was able to delude myself that this was a working, operational, clean kitchen and I can no longer do that.
No, it's the same. That's what I'm saying. It's almost the same restaurant.
Yeah. Well, it's just one has seating and one doesn't.
Yeah, it's just takeout only.
So I got home after I didn't get a donut or a muffin because I didn't buy anything. I was just like, I don't want a muffin. A muffin, when you really see like places like, Dunkin' Donuts or Dunkin', see, they took donuts out of their name. Theoretically, they can run out of donuts now. They're just Dunkin'.
Right.
That would be fair. If this place was just called Crazy, that's what I should have said. I was like, when I walked into this donut crazy place, I should have been like, it's a good thing Crazy's in your name because having no donuts is insane. And then we would have been like high five and it would have been like Muffin Mondays, #muffins at donut. Anyway,
let's hope this place gives a discount to first responders.
Yeah, exactly. Let me tell you, if you're trying to get in as a donut shop with first responders, you already got a leg up, but it's going to hurt you if you don't serve donuts. At least, as far as stereotypes go. So then I come home, and then, Christmas and the holiday season's happening, and I realize that Simone's about to get a bunch more toys. And there's already so many toys that we have. So we start going through toys to basically make room now while she's not home and she's at school. So she won't even notice that, a bunch of stuff has gone because I guess that would mean she's spoiled. I don't know.
No, or she's just, goldfish.
Yeah, she's just a child that's like,
yeah.
I don't. But the problem is, and I think I've said this before too, is due to Toy Story, it's nearly impossible for me to throw anything away. I've given all the toys. The minute I look at a doll that Simone hasn't touched in a year, I go, oh no, is it going to be sad? I can't throw it in the trash. I need to give it to some other child so it can live anew.
You're a psychopath.
This is legitimately, I couldn't throw anything. I just made a bunch of donation boxes. I don't know what to do.
That's good. You see, that's the right thing. But you see, when you walk out of the room, the doll doesn't come to life with the voice of Timothée Chalamet.
It might. Who's to say? I do think that Toy Story was responsible for me giving nearly every inanimate. I'll look at a broken picture frame and I'll be like, oh no. Where it's like, all I want to do is show off family memories, and I can't because my glass is busted. And I don't know. I'm not even doing a bit. This is a legitimate problem I have.
Yeah, but now after admitting it, you realize that you're never allowed to watch an episode of American Pickers or Hoarders again with judgment.
That's fair. I get that.
Because this is how it starts.
Well,
It is. It's seeing a use for something that most would consider junk.
Yes, I do think I would come across as particularly insane when I would say, yes, but the toys might talk to me. That's why I'm keeping them. I don't want Sid to get his hands on them and do terrible things with them. But seriously.
So where are you donating them?
Well, what I'm going to do is I made a big box of what I consider to be baby toys, and we have friends that have a 1-year-old, and I'm just going to bring them over without asking and make it their problem. That's a fun thing with parenting is lots of times you'll just get hand-me-downs that you didn't ask for and you don't want. But what are you going to tell this person? No, take your shit away? No, that's happened to me a million times. So I'm going to make it happen to them now.
You mean like my friend Chris did back in the day with his video collection when his girlfriend moved in?
Now, was his video collection all pornos or was it actually...
It was just, I'm sure he kept anything worth watching.
So he gave you a big box of porn?
It was more of a joke, yes. But yes, I got a package in the mail that was a massive, it was like the size of an air conditioner.
Oh, this brings up another thing. Pornography back before the internet. I feel like now you have access to so much porn, it's almost like you're paralyzed by choice sometimes. It takes a minute to find the right thing, far longer oftentimes than the actual whole shebang takes, right? Now, to that point, it's just also, though, did you used to, have you purchased porn on VHS in your life?
I'm sure in my life, yes, but it's been
okay, even on DVD.
Decades.
Did you purchase porn at some point?
No, but there was somebody that I knew who had a friend who is a producer for Vivid. Mm-hmm. And somehow I got on a mailing list.
So you had an abundance of porn.
An abundance. And it was sent to me at work, which was even weirder. So getting off that mailing list was rather I'd be going through stuff at work and be like, okay, work. Oh, where do I put this?
Did you have to call someone to get off it?
No, yeah. I changed jobs. Get off it.
Then I got off it. Yeah.
So probably somebody at my old job somewhere.
It's just man, Ryan Sampson got a lot of porn sent to him at work. I just can't bring myself to imagine going into a store and putting a tape down on the counter and being like, yeah, I'm going to masturbate to this. I have no idea what's on it. Hope it's good.
It used to be when I was a kid, it was in the same video store. So there would be a curtain. And so you would.
Oh, wasn't that like the Pee Wee Herman thing?
What?
Wasn't that like the Pee Wee? Oh, you mean like it was in the video rental store and behind the curtain was all the porn?
Yes. And so you people would go in and out from behind the curtain. You're like, Mom, what's back there? Come look at this movie.
I remember there was a place.
My mom sounds very manly.
She's like,
come look at this movie.
I remember there was a place where I grew up. It was called Video Fair. And it was a video rental store and they had porn. And that's like renting porn. That's a whole nother thing I hadn't considered.
Yeah. And you used to so I'd be in line. Right? And I'd have, I don't know, Ferris Bueller's Day Off in my hand.
And they would have Faria Bueller Gets Off in their hand, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Faria. That's not a name. I think I took Mariah and Farrah. I don't know. Oh.
It was a weird time.
To be like, sir, you've rented this video 7 times. Do you want to just buy it? This is getting weird. Every Saturday night. Yeah. I've had trouble getting rid of the toys because they're
and we're talking about actual toys here. I know we made a switch. We just want to clarify.
No, I'm actually gonna bring it back around to sex toys if you want.
Okay, yeah.
Which
you
I
drop
don't
those
think,
at your neighbor's
what's
house?
What's odd is I think it's largely just things with faces. Like, if you put a smiley face on a dildo, I'd have to keep it forever. Like, I can throw away things that don't have faces. I can do that.
Thank you for the Christmas idea.
I'm just telling you, I would.
If anyone wants to buy Mark a Christmas present, 1221 Avenue of the Americas.
Yeah, 35th floor.
10020.
Yeah. Send it up. Send me. And also, if you have access to a porn mailing list, put me right on it. Forward that straight to my house.
Same address.
No, I do have an article here, actually, that's you're speaking of gifts and the holidays. It's your burning holiday sex questions answered by sexologists. Let's start there. Imagine you're at Thanksgiving dinner. Oh, what are you doing now, Ryan? Oh, I host the morning mashup. Karen, what about you? Oh, I'm a registered sexologist. Would you rather talk about that or politics at the dinner table?
Definitely politics.
Yes. All right. So here's an article. This is from Yahoo News. And the first question is, do sex toys make good stocking stuffers? Let me answer that without reading this. No, don't do that. That's weird. I don't think Christmas should be a kinky holiday. I don't think there should be, it's the birth of Christ. Let's fuck. I think it feels weird.
Yeah, it does seem like that's a gift for just another time. That's the random gift you pull out without notice. That's not, yeah.
Oh, you mean like on a different day, not like, I have one more from behind the couch and it's a...
No, I meant
someone's
like
on the naughty list.
I meant like on a Friday night in March.
Yeah. Okay, to sex toys. There's two sexologists, being two prominent sexologists. Michelle Hope is one, only because they mention her, and then Logan Levkoff, Dr. Logan Levkoff. And so when I referred to Hope and Levkoff in this, then we'll know. Both Levkoff and Hope agree that bullet vibrator or magic wand could be a welcome gift for certain people on your list, like grandma, I guess. No. Just be discreet. In other words, don't let them open it on Christmas morning in front of relatives. It's like, yeah.
Duh.
Are you... Can you imagine being so tone deaf that you just give somebody a giant friggin' vibrator and just got to open it next to like a Batman doll and a sheet set, and it's just...
Well, I mean, I guess if you want your family to know you're in a very healthy and open relationship, that's one way to do it.
Mm-hmm. You can also give a sex toy to a partner, but be careful about the messages it sends. It's great to add something fun to your bedroom repertoire, but if your partner has said they have no interest in certain sex toys, giving them one will be seen as ignoring their wishes, no matter how big a bow you put on it. See, that's good because I put a huge bow on a Lexus in our driveway. I saw that in a commercial, and Sarah did think I wanted her to fit it in her anus. So that's good. It's good to hear that no matter how big a bow you put on a present, it's problematic.
This actually just sounds like generic relationship advice that they put a bow on.
Well, here's some other holiday-related questions. Do holiday parties lead to more random hookups? What the fuck are these questions? That's just like, if people drink more, are they going to probably have higher odds of banging? Yeah. The answer is yes, I would think. Blame the eggnog. Sexologist Michelle Hope calls holiday parties a cocktail of nostalgia, mistletoe, magic, and, actual cocktails that can lead to more festive flings.
The puns are just out of control.
This is especially true at office holiday parties. One survey by Harris Interactive found that 25% of Americans say they've had a sexual relationship initiated at an office holiday party. Okay, let me tell you this. If you're thinking about going to your office holiday party, do not go. I've never heard of anyone that's like, I'm really glad I did that. That went well. And if you're like, wait, but Mark, I have to show up and save face. Just walk in, have a Diet Coke, whatever, and get out of there. Nothing good can happen.
Oh, I slightly disagree with you.
Why? Are you one of those people that's had a holiday hookup?
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like you've got to know to keep it under control, but otherwise go have fun. You're at work.
Fun?
you're at work. Just don't, no puking.
Those two things are at odds with one another.
Just as long as you are not the drunkest person at your party, as long as you're not in the top 5 drunkest people in your party, as long as you stay away from like any meaningful discussions with anybody in a position higher than you or below you, you'll be fine.
Okay, so Ryan's rules for office parties. Don't be one of the top 5 drunkest. Don't talk to anyone above you. Don't talk to anyone below you.
No, talk to them, but I'm just saying very surface. Hey, nice Christmas tree, huh? How about them ornaments?
What is fun about what you just described? If you don't go out with these people normally, right? Why would you say, hey, just because it's the holidays, I'm going to throw a bunch of alcohol into the equation and try and hang out with them?
No, I'm saying that, like, you can go, and I understand why. Listen, the warnings of what you're saying are for people that can't control themselves.
Or
right?
young people, truthfully.
Or dumb people, for amateurs, and for dumb people that don't have self-control and can't get their shit together. But there are actual responsible adults on the planet, and you can just tell them, dude, go drink, go have fun, but this isn't the time to ask for a raise. This isn't the time to talk shit about your coworkers. This isn't the time to, like, talk about abortion. This is just, like, talk about sports and go have fun.
All right,
drink.
so also reviewing Ryan's yes list and no list at holiday parties. Sports and drinking, yes. Big giant no, only at the holiday party, totally fine any other time at work. Abortion.
But you get what I'm saying. Like if you can go to a party and have some drinks, but if you're able to act like a civilized human being, you should have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, but it's also, wouldn't you rather do anything else?
99% of people at the holiday party knock back a couple glasses of Chardonnay and don't get fired the next day.
Sexologist Michelle Hope, I would like to note, is answering this question like she has no idea what alcohol actually does in the real world, which is
most people talk about, like, that's what most people talk about alcohol like you either are on the road to sobriety or you just completely can't handle it.
This is what
nobody ever talks about people who the majority of people who drink somewhat responsibly.
Well, this is what this woman says. As Hope notes, alcohol is a social lubricant, but it shouldn't grease the wheels of decision-making. The CDC warns that booze can blur the lines of consent. All right, lot to unpack there. Was kind of going with her where I was like, you can't tell me alcohol doesn't blur the lines of decision-making? I mean, I've definitely made some poor choices because I was drinking. Whoa, but I haven't raped anyone. The CDC warns booze can blur the lines of consent. I really feel like we took it to 100 by the end of that statement.
That's what I'm saying. This is not an article for people that have their shit together.
Flirting is great, but if either one of you might be too drunk to say yes, swap numbers for another day. Oh, no. I mean, that's, by the way, I would never pressure anyone into doing anything, but if it doesn't happen, then it's not going to happen. You can't recreate what I believe was a cocktail of nostalgia, mistletoe, magic, and, actual cocktails at Festive Flings, if you remember. Can you imagine you're with the girl from the office, you're both vibing, and you say, hey, look, I bet we're a little too drunk. Let's pick this up tomorrow. Would that it's dead, right? Like, you might, that's like...
What?
That's not... It's
no, I think I might disagree with you here.
No.
No. Because listen, if you work with the person, mm-hmm. right, you're gonna see them again. So like, yeah, it might be a good time to express interest without,
Let's say you're punching a little out of your weight class.
Yeah.
Would you be concerned that the opportunity was not going to come again? Like, let's say she was like, "Come on, let's do it." I would. I'd be like, I don't know.
Oh, if you're at that point, then yeah, then I wouldn't necessarily back out.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that not everybody, regardless of the amount of alcohol had, enjoys the hard sell or likes the hard sell or lets the hard sell work. So sometimes...
I'm not saying you'd be like, hey, listen, let's do it. Let's do it. That's not what I'm talking about with the hard sell. I'm saying, like, once you're getting to that point, I wouldn't if you're both in on it, I wouldn't recommend being like, let's take our time and really think about this.
No, but let's go see the Christmas lights next week isn't a bad plan.
Really? You're telling me you're about to bed a woman and you don't do it, and you say, "Hey, maybe we go look at some Christmas lights."
No, I'm not.
Week?
No, I'm not saying that I'm about to. Never mind. Just leave it alone.
Friend zone, major friend zone potential with that. But regardless, are you staying home on the holidays, or are you going to visit some people?
I'm going to visit some people.
Okay, because this next question could apply to you.
Okay.
Is it rude to have sex in someone else's home as an overnight guest? What about in your own bed when you have guests? Okay. If you're this is the article. If you're sleeping over at a relative's house, staying in your significant other's childhood bedroom, or have overnight guests in your own home, most etiquette experts agree it's okay to have sex, but with a few caveats. I'm not going to read the rest, but I'm going to guess number one should be let's not be spraying it everywhere.
No, I think Bill Clinton had the right idea in the 90s with one of his policies, but applied it to the wrong segment of society.
So you think that straight people should not ask or tell about sex, whereas
right? He
gay
applied it
people
to the
should.
military.
Oh,
he applied
okay.
it to the military, and he should have applied it to the world at large when it comes to being a guest at someone's house.
Okay, so don't ask, don't tell is yours.
Yes.
But I think here are the caveats. Be respectful by keeping it quiet so others don't hear you. Well, let me just say, impossible for any woman that's going to be sleeping with me. All right? And if you're a guest in someone's home, be considerate and wash the sheets before you leave. Let me also say that if one of my guests came out of my guest room with all the fucking sheets and towels bundled up, I'd be like, well, why?
I can tell you who the first person to do it will be, Mark.
You?
No, but close.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, dude. It's like I have gotten when her and I have, because we've stayed in a hotel recently a couple times, and on checkout day it's been highly stressful because she cleans the room.
Your girlfriend?
Yes.
Why?
I'm like, dude, so like before we go to get on a plane or right before we check out, right? Like I might want to do a last minute evacuation and shower. Okay,
I thought you were about to be like, it's very important I bang right before I leave the hotel room. But yes, I agree with your evacuation and shower plan. Yes.
Okay, so I go to like, I understand about the clothes. So I'll set out my clothes and like, don't pack those. And then I go into the bathroom.
Does she
and there's
pack
no
your
towels.
Clothes for you?
She packs my clothes for me. I mean
what
to do it.
What happened to you?
Dude, I mean to do it, but she just gets to it before me. And I'm like, let me do it.
Christ. No, this is.
And then I go to take a shower, and all the towels are like in a pile in the hallway, and I'm like, what the fuck? Maybe not in the hall. Well, in the hallway of the hotel room, not at the hotel.
I can't believe your girlfriend is packing your suitcase for you. You're a man. You're an adult man.
I know. Well, I pack it when we go on the trip.
Oh wow!
Like,
so 50% of the time you're handling it, but the other time, no.
Oh no, I'm just saying that like when we get listen, hotel room management is a whole thing.
Okay.
You stay in a lot of hotels,
yeah.
So you understand.
Well, I mean, do you put your stuff in the drawers?
If I'm there for more than 5 days.
Okay, I get that.
But I usually start, like my way of doing it is I start a dirty clothes bag.
Yeah, this seems fair. Seems like a good idea. Yeah.
I have a dirty clothes bag, and that's just pretty much it. But I will sometimes like rewear jackets or hoodies or maybe a pair of pants or shorts, right? But I can't, wherever I set my things where I would normally set them, somehow they ended up folded and back in the suitcase or in the dirty clothes when I like it's
So she cleans up after you.
But I don't ask her to, and there's nothing, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing to clean.
I got it. I have these fights with my own wife. I get it. But question.
My point was, is she cleans the hotel room. So when we come to your house, if she suddenly balls up the sheets off the bed and takes them to your laundry room, it doesn't necessarily mean that we did.
I have told guests, hey, why don't you not have sex tonight? I'm going to be able to hear it. It'll be weird. I don't want it. Please don't do that. Because I am very vocal not when having sex in strangers' houses, but about what I want otherwise, which is I now in hindsight, now that I'm thinking about it, that probably makes me a super weird host, but I also don't care. I think you shouldn't have sex in somebody else's house.
You just wouldn't. You see, I would be more to the not tell them that I can hear anything, and then just basically
jerk off.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry.
That's what you do. Take notes and then be able to compare. And I bet you can predict which of your friends will stay together longer based on that.
I don't think. No. You think that based on the sex you have is an indicator of how long you're gonna stay together? What about people in toxic relationships that like hate each other and then hate sex?
Well, but say Jimmy and Susie. You don't have any friends named Jimmy and Susie, right?
No.
Okay, good. Neither do
Sound
I.
lame.
Say Jimmy and Susie come over,
Yeah.
and like the first time they're like way into it, and then they come back a year later, and there's a noticeable difference. You're going to be able to spot trouble in their relationship.
No, what I would
ahead.
actually say is, hey, why are you both fucking in my house all the time? Stop. Jesus Christ, you're only here one night, once a year. Why don't we tone it down? What? I do also think that there's like certain houses, certain places where I was a guest. I would think it was like okay to bang with other people in the house, right? My parents' house, I would bang there because on some level that's still my house. I feel like, even though I don't live there anymore. Sarah's parents' house, I would also bang there. Same rules. But your house, I wouldn't really want to bang in. Now, an Airbnb we're staying in together that neither of us own would bang there.
Most likely, though, you're on camera.
In the Airbnb?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it's a weekly occurrence, right? Like it's one of those. It's like Florida Man. That if you type Florida Man into a Google News search, you're going to get a good story. And it's almost like a hidden camera Airbnb is almost like that regular of an occurrence.
Okay. Now, do you have would you not have sex depending on what relative's home you're in?
It's more, I think, about the sound.
Okay. Grandparents. Yes or no?
Yes.
Parents.
Yes.
Brother.
Sure.
So who is there? What's a family?
And the thing is, but I think like you're naming off these people, and you're thinking about the relationship and the
and you're thinking about
closeness.
the architecture of their house.
Correct. Yeah.
So what you're saying is based on what I've said, the Sampsons all have they used bricks. No, the big bad wolf can't bang their house down. Nice,
no
great.
one's blowing anyone's house down.
Yeah,
right.
great, fantastic.
Yeah.
What else is this? Do people deprived of privacy during the holidays end up having car sex? I don't know. Think about whatever you did in high school. The answer is probably yes. That's really all I'm finding here is you got drunk and had sex, you banged in cars, and you banged in your parents' house. Basically, if you're like, what would I have done if I was 17? That's what the holidays is for everyone. They're going back home, a lot of people.
So that's like you're on your way to Grandma and Grandpa's house and Simone passes out in the back and Sarah gives you a road handy?
Yeah, the thing is, like, this all sounds hot and nice. I just don't think, like, I think Sarah and I have been together long enough that if I was like, hey, want to go in this car and have sex? She'd be like, no. Why don't we just wait till we're in adult bed? And I was just like, oh, come on. She'd be like, no. At 20, well, go ahead.
Isn't that why, though, you know, how do I say this the right way? There are people that I guess if say I'm coming to stay at your house, right? And you're like, hey, I got a guest room. And I'm like, no, we got a hotel. And you're like, why are you going to pay for a hotel when I got a guest room? I mean, that's what that fight is, right?
Well, it's just my whole thing is like, I don't want to shit at your house. I don't even care about the sex. Like, I can do without that. I don't think it's people saying like, I wanna
No, but
bang.
you're right. It's one of the two things. It's either I want to shit or bang.
Sometimes at the same time. Who knows?
Sometimes at the same time. I don't know what you're into. At my own leisure, and I don't want to have you know that I'm doing that. And so and that's why, because it happens to me all the time. Because I think people are offended because they're like, I got this guest room, and I'm like, I'm gonna be drunk, stumbling into your house at 1 a.m. after I came home from a bar.
I agree. I think
that's not fair to you.
I think it also depends on if you consider yourself to be somebody who likes to save money or not. And we've talked about this before. Anytime I say, hey, you should stay over, once it's actually happening, this goes for anyone in my house, I'm like, oh, shit. What are we going to do? Because, you're used to seeing your friends, I would say, after, let's say, 11:30 in the morning. Okay? Anytime after that, you're pretty used to seeing your friends.
Yeah.
When you have a 7:30 in the morning, 8 a.m. experience, and everyone's hungover and there's toddlers around, it's like, I don't know what your energy's like. I don't have that relationship with anyone except Sarah.
Yeah.
It's
a whole different thing.
It's like, all right, what's your routine? Do I then need to worry about waking you up in my own house? And you feel like you got to entertain. I love hotels for that reason.
I find myself in that situation all the time when people are like, come stay with me. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I want to live my life and not have to go by the rules of your house.
Agree. 100% agree. But let's get back to the car sex thing.
Okay.
A 2017 survey found that 60% of college students had sex in a parked car at some point, but we don't know if this spikes during the holiday guest season or drops off because it's cold out. That said, nearly 1 in 10 adults have had a roadside romp while traveling for the holidays, according to a survey of more than 2,000 people from Zipcar and Harris Poll. If I got a survey from Zipcar that was like, do you ever fuck in our cars? I think I'd be like, what is this? Why are you asking this?
Do you think Turo sends out the same survey?
Yeah, Hertz is like, let's go doggy style. Why? Imagine. Couples hooking up may opt for car sex if they can't find privacy elsewhere, but experts say it's not for everyone. In theory, it sounds exciting to mix it up in the car, but after a certain age, your body doesn't bend like that, Levkov notes. Oh, thanks for the heads up, doctor.
Thanks. Yeah.
While it's not illegal to have sex in your car, it's not? They definitely make it seem like it's illegal.
I think it depends on how tinted your windows are and where you're doing it. Like if you've got clear windows and you're in the drop-off circle of an elementary school, it's probably highly illegal.
While it's not illegal to have sex in your car, it's also worth noting that you can get in trouble with the law if you get caught doing it in public. Getting frisky in your Ford could land you with a starring role in the local police blotter, says Hope. In many cases, it's a misdemeanor that could lead to some embarrassing registry lists. Oh, you mean sex offender lists?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would be pretty embarrassing if I had to register as a sex offender.
God.
This woman, by the way, for a sex therapist, is really throwing cold water on a lot of frisky ideas. You got to be careful with your coworkers, and you shouldn't fuck in the car.
Yeah, this article sounded like it was going to be fun, but this is just a whole bunch of judgment.
Just her being like, hey, let's not rape anyone or end up on a sex register or sex offender list. Are more babies conceived during the holidays?
Oh.
Yes.
I guess that would be, is there a lot of September birthdays or August birthdays?
There is a baby boom about 9 months after the holidays, but it's not because of eggnog or car sex. Oh, okay. Conception is more likely around the winter solstice, whether you live in the northern hemisphere, where this occurs around the holidays, or in the southern hemisphere, where it happens in June. Researchers believe this has more to do with biology than behavior. One possible explanation is that sperm favor cold weather. Well, that's news to me. I mean, I guess they're not burning as much in my hot scrot, but
well, they're not. They're not.
We've been in the
weather's
energy.
Cold further away. The further it goes from your testy, the colder it gets, so it stays close.
Hope says that if you're not planning to have a baby next year, it's good to stock up on contraception, along with holiday wrapping paper and tape. Dude, Dr. Hope is so lame. Listen.
Ooh, is this a regular article for Dr. Hope, or what's going on?
I don't know. I love it though. Speaking of toys, is it true that people are using Christmas ornaments as sex toys?
I would hope not.
That's literally what Dr. Levkov says. His quote is, I hope not. Those things are sharp. They break and they're full of germs. Think of how many people touched them before they went back into the box last year. And then I haven't read the rest of this, but I have to imagine Dr. Hope is like, you should put them in your contraception and also ask for consent if you're going to shove them in your butt.
There's one ornament I think you could get away with.
What ornament do you, because I would say it's
a little dangerous, but it's
the wise men from the nativity scene.
No, it's the least
How dare
dangerous. The least dangerous of all, and also the tastiest of all of them.
The candy cane?
Yeah.
The way you said the least dangerous of all, which I don't believe, by the way, but it sounded like you were going to have some horrible Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer verse about, the sexualist ornament of all, candy canes in your cooter, in your mom's spare guest room. I don't know if you like it. We could bang in the car and zoom.
Candy canes in your cooter.
All of the
should be our biggest hit.
Yeah, all of the other guest rooms have sex in them quietly. We don't want to do that. You'll wake your Aunt Peggy. It's just.
Oh, that's perfect.
Or it could have said Penny, since that's your actual mom's name.
Yeah. Let's not include my mother in.
Come on,
candy.
You have no
canes
problem banging in her home. You've already said it. I honestly, as far as car sex and holiday sex and contorting yourself into weird positions, what I think the reason I don't have any of these stories for the most part is I just did not have sex in high school. Not a once. And therefore, we'll be, like, every so often, we'll be driving through my wife's hometown, and there'll be just, like, a grassy knoll, and she'll be like, oh, yeah, I had sex on that one time. And I'll be like, what? Why? And she's like,
the grassy knoll?
Yeah, it was also a single shot situation. Hey, Sarah's coming in. She
heard grassy knoll.
Popped in. Hi.
Don't talk about my hometown sex tour.
She like has had sex at a lot of places in her hometown because I think it was just, it's timing. She started earlier and therefore had more interest in it.
Right.
More interest in it, or people were interested in me?
Do you know what it's like? Like, Ryan and I are not cool guys, or we weren't in high school, arguably still are not. Do you know what it's like to find out that girls were and are interested in having sex? Because it seems like such a foreign concept when you were us in high school. Right? Ryan?
Oh, I thought you were asking Sarah.
I don't know, I'm just saying it.
It was a total foreign concept, especially it still as an adult.
Well, I just feel like Sarah was banging everywhere in her town.
Well, I had a boyfriend that when we would come home from college.
See? Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Quick question for you.
Okay.
Do you think it's okay to have sex if you're staying in somebody else's house for the holidays?
Whose house?
Anyone's house. Are there certain houses you would and wouldn't have sex?
I think you can just like chill out for a night.
Okay.
What would you say if we revealed on this episode today that the first time Kate and I did it, it was at your house?
I'd be fucking disgusted, Ryan. I would be.
When did you guys stay at
They
our
didn't.
house?
He's just saying that. They didn't even stay over, which is what would have made it so alarming.
It's like you guys like showed up and we didn't know you were here, and you went through the bulkhead and banged.
Quick one in the basement bathroom.
Oh,
I don't think there are any. I'm trying to think of all the couples I'm friends with. I don't think there's anyone I'd want to see have sex.
well, and I'm sure you said that want to see.
Yeah, like what if I was into Ryan and Kate and I'd be like, oh yeah, tell me about it. Like otherwise, I don't want to know.
I think Mark is just hyper aware because our guest room bed is so loud that it would just like everyone would know about it.
It is.
That's
only
what I
one way
said.
to know that for sure.
Mark, I'm the one that changes the sheets on that bed for your mom when she stays, and I.
Whoa! Just to be clear, she does that just because we want my mom to have a fresh bed. They also said the number one thing you should do if you're going to have sex in somebody's house is change the sheets frequently.
Wait, you should change the sheets to bang on them?
That's what I'm saying. Imagine if a guest stayed at our house and then walked out the next morning with all the sheets in their arms.
Oh, I'd be like, what did you guys do? Either
And then I
somebody
told Mark-
pooped or you did some weird stuff.
I told Mark that it's going to happen the first time we stay at your house.
Well,
it's
you know
going to
what,
be
Ryan?
Kate.
I wanted you guys to sleep over, and now you never can. So
No. It doesn't. That would have nothing to do with whether or not we do it. Just because she cleans everywhere she goes.
Oh, she's like me. I love her.
Yeah.
This is boring.
Okay, bye.
What the fuck? I don't want to talk about that. Anyway, we have about 3 minutes left. Is there anything else? Didn't anticipate talking about sex etiquette.
We keep holding off that you wanted to talk about the Cosmics, the McDonald's spinoff.
I did. I just posted that because it was just. So McDonald's has a new restaurant. Is that what it is? And it's
Yeah,
like
well,
a
apparently
Starbucks.
Is it supposed to be well, yeah, there's only a couple different sandwiches. They have like turmeric flavored or one. Okay, hold on.
What?
These are the drinks. Yeah, they're really weird. The drinks, the tropical spiceade, sour tango lemonade, half and half lemonade, black tea. Hold on, there was something
Didn't
with turmeric
Panera
in
just
it.
get sued for having a bunch of lemonades that were like this, or just the caffeine in theirs?
The chai frappe burst, poppin' pear slushy, the churro frappe, the cold brew frappe, pomegranate hibiscus slushy.
I think it's a frap. I think it has the accent on it. But by the way, every single item you are mentioning sounds worse than the one before it. And the reason that Cosmix is such a stupid thing is the CEO of McDonald's, I think it was, it recently said when they debuted this, there is one more thing. I guess there was some, investor presentation or something. Cosmix.
There's a turmeric spiced latte.
And then this man asked an audience of adults, what would happen if a McDonald's character from the 1980s that was part alien, part surfer, part robot, what would happen if this character were to open a restaurant in 2023? I don't know. Why would that happen? Why would a surfer alien open a restaurant? Why would that be a concept I want to go to?
So wait, he already knew that he wanted to call it Cosmix because of like this obscure commercial from the 80s that no one remembers. And then he asked the focus group what the menu would be like.
I get.
And that's what.
No, I think they just decided that it was going to be Cosmix, but then that's how he pitched it to investors when they were It was the other day when they announced Cosmix. He's like, "What would it be like if an alien surfer opened a restaurant?" It's like, what the fuck? That's the best you had, McDonald's? Alien surfer, random 80s character? Who wants this? This is. There's no chance this works. No chance. I am willing to say that.
What's on the menu? There's a spicy queso sandwich, a creamy avocado tomatillo sandwich.
Who wants this from McDonald's?
An egg McMuffin, a bacon McMuffin with egg, and a sausage McMuffin with egg. Those are the sandwiches. And then
it's
there's
called
pretzel
a bacon
bites.
McMuffin. That's just an egg McMuffin with bacon. No one would say it the way you just said it.
Bacon McMuffin with egg.
Unless you're stupid Cosmic, who apparently doesn't know how the world works because he's a surfer alien from the 80s. But anyway, we got to get out of here. Ryan, do you have any thoughts before we do?
Apologies to our mothers for this show.
If you're gonna bang in someone's house, just do it quietly, respectfully, and preferably on the floor so you don't have to change the sheets. Be here tomorrow. Bye.
Goodbye.